Video, we'll be going over IRS Notice CP132. This is a notice that you might receive from the Internal Revenue Service if you made a miscalculation on your corporate tax return, resulting in a tax balance that you now owe the IRS. So we'll go through this notice part by part. We'll help you understand what this notice is trying to say to you, what you need to do to address this notice, and then where you can go to the IRS website to get more information. So let's start at the upper right hand corner. You'll see the notice number. It's CP132. The tax period in this case is the period ending December 31st, 2017. The notice date is January 28th, 2019. And then there's an employer ID number that's currently redacted. Over here on the left-hand side is the business name and address. So if you recently changed your address, then you may need to update your address on file with the Social Security Administration. You can do that by filing IRS Form 8822-B. That's the change of address form for businesses. So let's take a close look at this. But before we do, I would stress that the notice date is kind of important to remember here because there is an expected action that the IRS wants you to take. Any due dates are calculated based on this notice date. So this is kind of important. So this notice says you owed originally $5,000 of taxes. You paid $300, but then they imposed a $50 failure to pay penalty and $50 of interest. So you now owe $4,800. And usually the due date is around 21 days from the notice date. As you can see here, January 28th, 2019. This is 3 weeks after that. So the due date is $4,800 due by February 18th, 2019. So if you agree with the changes, make the payment by the due date. That helps you avoid any additional penalties and interest. If you make a payment after the due date, then the IRS will have to recalculate to determine any additional penalty and interest that may be applied on your account. So if you want to mail in a payment, you can absolutely do that. You can at least make your check or money order payable to the United States Treasury. You would write your EIN, your employer ID number, the tax period, and the form number on your payment, as well as any correspondence. So I would also mail it to this address on the voucher, which happens to be the same address as in the letterhead, but that's not always the case with IRS notices. So if you do mail in a payment, make sure that you're using the payment voucher address and not the letterhead address at the top of the letter. So you can also pay using the electronic federal tax payment system instead of a check or a money order. If you can't pay that amount due, then you probably need to contact the IRS to discuss payment options. If you don't agree with the changes, then you'll contact the IRS. You can either do that by phone or by mail. And if you do it by mail, you have 60 days from the date of the notice to state your case to the IRS, and they'll reverse the change that they made your account. Now, they'll do that temporarily, but then if you don't provide any additional information or explanation, they will take another look at it, and if they believe that the reversal is a mistake, then they'll probably forward your tax case to the audit folks. And at that point, the audit staff will contact you to explain the audit process and walk down that road. You do have formal appeal rights to the through the audit process. That includes going through the court system as high as the Supreme Court if your case allows it to. So on this page, tells you a little bit more about other actions that you may need to do. You can file a claim for a refund if you dispute any charges. You would still need to pay the tax up front, but then you could submit a claim within 2 years of the last payment for the tax. Below this contains calculations of how the IRS arrived at your tax bill, as well as history of your estimated tax payments, calculation of your failure to pay penalty, and then there's a couple of there's some paragraphs that talk about how you can reduce or remove penalties. So there are ways that you can reduce or remove penalties based on erroneous advice from the IRS. So if you ask for advice on a tax issue in writing, if the IRS if you gave the IRS enough information and it was accurate and you received a written response from the IRS that you used in your tax return, if they still imposed a penalty, you can absolutely claim a refund using IRS Form 843 to do that. You can also file Form 843 under reasonable cause. There's a couple of ways that you could claim reasonable cause. And finally, there's a lot of discretion under what's known as a first-time abatement program. So we'll put links in the show notes to resources we've created about these forms mentioned in the video. So down here it talks about how they calculated your interest. Unfortunately, you can't really, it's harder to abate interest than it is to abate penalties. So what happens is if you do reduce your taxes or your penalties for one way or another, then the IRS will recalculate your interest so that it disregards any amounts that were waived. So if you knock down your $5,000 tax bill to $3,000, the IRS will calculate the interest based on the $3,000, not the original $5,000. And then same for the penalties. When your penalties are abated, the interest is recalculated accordingly. There's special rules when it comes to corporate interest, particularly if you made a significant underpayment, which is considered to be $100,000 or more. There's rules about interest charges as well. And then there's a link right here to a page on the IRS website where we can learn more about how to handle this notice. So we're going to go to this page just to see what other information we can find. Usually there's not a whole lot of additional information other than what's stated in the notice. But in this case, there are a couple of frequently asked questions. So, to help you better understand what happens if you can't pay the full amount or, so on and so forth. So that's basically all we have to cover under the CP132 notice. So I'll just circle back here. We'll kind of close out this video. So CP132 has to do with a change to your tax return, your corporate tax return on Form 1120. Usually has to do with your estimated tax payments, and it usually results in a balance due to the IRS. So it is in your best interest to respond to the IRS either through paying the additional amount or by addressing why you disagree with the IRS. Again, you don't need to submit documentation, but it would help possibly if you provide enough documentation for the IRS to recognize that the error was made on their end so that they don't forward this to an audit team. Of course, that's your choice, but if you don't send documentation, you should at least be prepared to be contacted by the audit team to discuss your position and why it differs from the IRS. So, as I mentioned, we'll put links in the show notes to resources we've created about the forms mentioned here. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see in an upcoming video, please hit us up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.